Trump set off for Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. In just the past year, the Trump Organization announced the development of a Trump Tower in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, and 2 other Trump-branded properties in the capital city of Riyadh. The Trump Organization has also announced a new Trump golf club at Qatar and an 80-story Trump hotel in Dubai. Last month, a UAE fund invested $2 billion in World Liberty Financial. That's the Trump family crypto brand.
You might be wondering, why did Trump pick these countries for his first foreign trip? Well, there's a strong geopolitical balance of... I'm f***ing with you! Corruption!
I'm Lil Demmie, joined as usual by Uncle Sam.
We're bringing you a comedy montage about a little something called
Trump's, quote, corruption tour of the Middle East.
It's been a fantastic week in the Middle East. I also went to Qatar, the UAE, and much like God did during Passover, I skipped Israel. Oh well.
There has been some less than charitable insinuations this week that Donald Trump's trip to the Middle East is some sort of naked money grab.
The National Review, one of the most conservative magazines out there, says it's a plain old grift. It's a poison plane. And welcome to the swamp now under new management. The New York Post, Qatar's palace in the sky, not a free gift. And they say Trump shouldn't accept it as one. Here's Murdoch's Wall Street Journal. Trump sends message to the world he's open for business.
I did this for the American people and in many ways myself, my personal enrichment. I did that too.
So in order to link Joe Biden to foreign payments, Republicans had to produce binders full of footnotes and paperwork and flowcharts that still added up to nothing. But you know what? Maybe it's hard to make a straightforward connection between a president's family and money from foreign governments.
Trump family's business ties to the Middle East have more than tripled since his first term, even after Trump retook office. The Trump brand has been out promoting flashy new construction projects in countries President Trump is visiting this week.
On behalf of my family, we love Dubai, we love the Gulf.
In Dubai, a new Trump International Hotel and Tower. In Saudi Arabia, a new Trump Tower in Jeddah. And 2 projects in Riyadh. In Qatar, a Trump-branded golf club announced just last month involves a firm that's headed by a Qatari official and backed by Qatar's sovereign wealth fund. An Abu Dhabi-backed fund is using a cryptocurrency from the Trump family crypto firm World Liberty Financial for a $2 billion investment.
Well, guys, everyone's talking about this. The White House said that the royal family of Qatar is giving President Trump a $400 million luxury jet that he will use as Air Force One and then keep once he leaves office. Everyone's rightfully focused on the plane, but to me, the big headline is that he'll eventually leave office. He won't.
The plane in question is one of the big old Boeing 747s, worth around $400 million. Of course, that's $400 million before you pay to check a bag.
Donald Trump is receiving a free airplane from our best friends in Qatar, and that's an issue? Name one time a plane from the Middle East did something bad to America.
The Trump administration was preparing to accept a $400 million luxury Boeing 747 from the royal family of Qatar, all because Trump came closer than Emmanuel Macron in guessing the retail value without going over.
You're seeing some of the inside luxurious accommodations here.
That is not a plane. That is a flying palace. I'm not going to tell Trump how to run his business, but I would steam the out of those carpets.
Qatari Air Force One, you know their slogan, yes, yes, speak louder into the tray table.
This is President Trump, and some people are freaking out over my new jet from Qatar, so I wanted to clear up any concerns by explaining the deal. You see, it's all part of a bilateral relationship improving both entities. And when my presidency is over, I will keep the plane in an effort to secure transportation effectively and legally. Look, at the end of the day, this deal is super kind, extremely thoughtful charity helping your Air Force.
I guess the only silver lining is Trump sees the bidet and thinks it's a water fountain. I had to lean down more than I wanted to, but very refreshing.
And of course, with a gift, it's not the money, it's the thought that counts. That thought, let's bribe the president.
And I agree, it's nice. I mean, I don't have a bidet myself, so I just keep a super soaker and a hand mirror in my bathroom. Yeah, it's not easy the first time, but you get the hang of it.
Under the arrangement, Trump would use the plane as Air Force One, but at the end of his time in office, it would be transferred to Trump's presidential library. "Oh, thanks," said the librarian. "A plane."
But the craziest part is the scheme to transfer the plane from the government to Donald Trump for his personal use after the end of his term. That's like if after France gave us the Statue of Liberty in 1885, Grover Cleveland got to take it home and keep it in his backyard.
Qatar is giving us a plane that Trump gets to keep. He's like the reverse Oprah. I get a jet, and that's it.
Folks, I'll have all the classics in my library. They got the one about how to fasten your seatbelt, another one about a magical mall in the sky, and there's a scary pop-up book called Air Sickness Bag.
Yeah, you know, I think we could stop pretending that this airplane is going to be transferred to his presidential library. This is like the news reporting your aunt is bringing her good friend Linda to Thanksgiving.
Ostensibly is our ally, and is also an ally of Hamas, that harbored the leaders of Hamas after the October 7th attacks. One world leader even said that Qatar was funding terrorism at a very high level. That leader, Donald Trump.
Trump's going to take a $400 million jet from people he would expel from Columbia University.
I trust Qatar like I trust a rest stop bathroom.
Well, they better sweep that plane from front to back.
Qatar's not, in my opinion, a great ally.
I'm not a fan of Qatar. I think they have a really disturbing pattern of funding theocratic lunatics who want to murder us.
Of course, Ted Cruz is only against it until Trump invites him onto the plane. You know, I thought it was a bad idea, but then I got a free lift and realized that President Trump is a master negotiator. He even let me have a refreshing drink of water out of the bidet.
Trump keeps ranting about how this jet is a gift, free of charge. So, of course, it's going to be really expensive. According to the experts, converting the jet into a new Air Force One with all the necessary security upgrades would cost over $1 billion. Okay, sounds like a lot, but to be fair, that does include your choice of either bistro or market fresh snack box.
But here's the stupidest part of this whole saga. To secure and upgrade this plane would cost the US over $1 billion, and the retrofit would take years. And that's just to take out all of the Qatari toilet cams. And then put in our patriotic all-American toilet cams.
Not only would it be a $1 billion refurb, it would take years to complete. And if you want to wait years for your plane, just go to Newark.
People are saying I should really be flying in an American plane. No thanks, Sonny. Have you seen what's going on with our planes? The radar is down and the screen is blank. Newark!
You know the expression, there's no such thing as a free lunch? That's about being skeptical of the motives of somebody who gives you a sandwich. A sandwich, a BLT. Now, imagine that BLT has an engine, 9 bathrooms, and funds proxy wars.
In a very public and transparent transaction. Sure, I stabbed a guy, but I didn't hide it. I did it in broad daylight while saying the words stabbity, stab, stab, stab. It was totally transparent because I stabbed him with a piece of glass.
Whatever the President Trump is doing is out in the open. They're not trying to conceal anything.
Yeah, really smart points, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. Crime is legal as long as you do it out in the open for all the world to see, like drugs in San Francisco or 9/11.
They know he only works with the interests of the American public in mind.
All I think about is the American public and how much they'd like to buy this Donald Trump only thinks about the American public t-shirt. Folks, it's available on DonaldTrump.com for only 75 Donald Trump coins. Free shipping if you give me a jet. Limit 1 shirt per jet.
Combined with Article 1, Section 9, constitutional prohibition against the president accepting a foreign flying palace, he would understand that that's a legitimate. I'm just kidding. He was appalled that you'd even ask.
Now, there are those that say we shouldn't be accepting gifts to the Defense Department. And I would say only a stupid person would say that. Why wouldn't we do that?
You say thank you. You don't say, I took an oath to defend the Constitution. Nerd!
What dummy wouldn't accept a gift? You know my friend Priam, great leader of Troy, powerful leader. Troy gets this free giant luxury horse from Greece. They fight for 10 years, then ding dong, free state-of-the-art wooden piñata. What does Priam do? Is he a dummy? No, he says, thanks for the horse.
The current Air Force One is 40 years old. All it does is nag, 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 nag. The new plane does Pilates.
Yet another reason Trump says he needs his bribe is because he's embarrassed to be seen with America's shrinky-dink mini plane.
You see Saudi Arabia and you see UAE and you see Qatar and you see ours next to it. It's much smaller.
We still talking about planes? I took a little peek over there, a little peek over there. Cockpit was huge, man.
Trump should have a big plane, because Trump definitely does not have a little plane. Plus, I'll say what, a lot of countries say that a smaller plane is actually more comfortable for longer rides. The point is, he definitely does not have a short, stubby, tuna can penis plane.
The top legal authority that seemed to have given their blessing to this arrangement is Attorney General Pam Bondi, whom herself previously worked as a lobbyist for none other than the country and government of Qatar.
Trump hasn't given them anything, and it's been like 36 hours. What did she do before she was the Attorney General?
Bondi previously worked as a foreign lobbyist for the nation of Qatar, earning about $115,000 a month.
Clearly, all these criticisms are getting under his skin. At 4 a.m. Middle East time, he reposted a bunch of comments like, "What about the Statue of Liberty, which was gifted from France in 1886? Statue of Liberty is a public monument that millions of people visit every year. This Qatari jet, on the other hand, is a personalized bribe mobile that we're supposed to blow $1 billion Ameribucks on. So when you leave office, you can fly around and go, I feel so much better about my tiny broken ding-dong."
We did have to Google who was president when we got the Statue of Liberty. It turns out it was Grover Cleveland, which no one remembers because he didn't get to keep it.
I'm no historian, but I don't remember Grover Cleveland flying around the world on the Statue of Liberty.
Trump arrived in Saudi Arabia where he was greeted with a lavender carpet which matched the color of his tie and also the length.
He landed in Riyadh this morning where he got a lavish welcome, greeted by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman on a sumptuous carpet, purple, made out of hand-harvested journalist nurple.
Time for Trump to walk down the famous purple carpet. And so he walked, and he walked. You know, Trump's looking at the carpet going, these things fly here, right?
Yep, Trump is in Saudi Arabia. He's hoping to make $1 trillion worth of deals, ranging from shady to sketchy to sus.
He said in March, "Last time I went to Saudi Arabia, they put up $450 million. Okay, I'm going around the palace with a big bag."
How dare you? Donald Trump didn't pick Saudi Arabia as his first official trip because his family has billions of dollars in business there. He picked it because he's making the Hajj to Mecca.
The Saudi prince greeted him at the airport, and he got a horse escort into the Saudi palace.
A horse escort! When you hear that Trump got a horse escort, this is the best version of that story.
They also rolled out a mobile McDonald's truck for President Trump's visit, featuring Saudi Arabia's most popular new burger, the McJournalist.
Saudi Arabia had a McDonald's mobile truck come on site.
Oh, I gotta tell you, it is nice to see they got another use out of the horses once they were done with that escort.
The Saudis set up a custom-built mobile McDonald's in anticipation of Trump's visit. Oh, shouldn't have had so much truck McDonald's. Glad we got 9 toilets.
Mohammed bin Salman is saying we need a resolution on a Palestinian state. And I don't necessarily recall several years ago.
I'm not so much of an asshole that I make fun of someone for nodding off a bit on a trip. But you know who is that much of an asshole?
The guy can fall asleep instantly with the press watching. Who the hell wants to sleep with these people watching?
Look who's sleeping now!
But Saudi Arabia announced that they're investing $600 billion in America. Yeah. With the extra money, Trump's thinking of hiring a second air traffic controller at Newark Airport.
He's also got fellow rich weirdo Elon Musk with him.
Everyone will want to have their personal robot. You can think of it like as though you had your own personal C-3PO or R2-D2. Who wouldn't want to have their own personal C-3PO or R2-D2?
I love them as movie characters, but they seem like they'd be a drag to have in the house.
Oh, sir, pretzels this late at night? Is that much salt a good idea?
Shut the up, dude!
Oh, language, sir.
I, of course, am a big fan of everything that Saudi Arabia has to offer, from the oil to the money to end of list.
Yeah, I was going to ask them some tough questions about that, and then the free massage started. I usually don't like when men touch my body, but I know that he's not gay since over here, that's a crime, right? And That also made me feel a lot better about that happy ending.
Mohammed, you sleep at night? How do you sleep?
Even to Trump to accidentally say something incredibly damning while trying to give someone a compliment. This guy can't sleep at night. Some say it's because he's always thinking. Others say he's haunted by the atrocities he's committed.
I like him too much. I like you too much.
I like you too much, sure. I tell you, you're like the son I never had. What's that? How many? The guy with the gums? God, that's depressing. Bring the nugget truck back.
Oh, what I do for the crown prince.
Well, it makes sense you're in the desert because you thirsty as.
Be careful, Don. They got laws about that kind of thing over there.
I don't even think I heard him talk about his wife that way. Oh, what I do for Melania. I make dinner, clean the house, give her a back rub. I mean, technically it wasn't me, but I made my C-3PO do it.
Sir, wouldn't the gesture have more meaning if you
Shut the up. Why can't you be more like R2? He and I speak the same language.
Ding, 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 ding.
I'm old enough to remember what happened when Barack Obama greeted this guy's uncle with what they described as a bow. Republicans went nuts. Trump mocked him, and all Obama did was bow. Trump got down on his knees and let this guy tickle his uvula. They said Obama went on an apology tour, and it's true, Trump isn't saying sorry, but that's just because his mouth is full.
When Trump landed in Qatar, he was escorted by a fleet of cyber trucks, Arabian horses, and camels. And even the horses and camels were laughing at the Cybertruck.
We appreciate those camels. I haven't seen camels like that in a long time.
When did you ever see camels? Back in the U.S., we used to have camels like that all over the place. But then people said they caused lung cancer, so we got rid of them.
Yeah, Trump was welcomed by horses and camels. He was like, I love the horses and the sexier horses.
You look at this, it's so beautiful. I'm seeing perfect marble.
The Qataris have got to be shocked at this point at how little it takes to impress him. Why did we give him a whole jet? We could have bribed him with a box of Ferrero Rocher.
Yep, these Middle Eastern countries are really trying to make Trump feel special. Yesterday, Saudi Arabia presented him with his own private McDonald's. And today in Qatar, they ordered from Sheikh Shack.
It was a round table with some of America's top defense contractors.
And we're coming up with new systems, and we're coming up with a new system of drones. Because drones are really, if you look at the war that's going on, it's horrible, but we are watching it very closely, and drones really seem to be taking over that war. The drone is killing tremendous numbers of people. You hide behind a tree, and the drone comes down, and it circles you with fire. You don't have a chance. The tree comes down also, by the way. It's so intense. I mean, you see these trees being knocked down like they're being sawed down by a top-of-the-line timberman, like, you know, who? Sean Duffy. Do you know that Sean Duffy, the head of the transportation department, who's working right now on the airports, and that's the weed.
Okay, this was about drones. We're getting off track here.
Pete Buttigieg was the head, and he goes bicycling to work. He takes a bicycle to work. Can you believe it? He's running the biggest air system in the world, and he takes a bicycle to work.
So Pete Buttigieg should have taken a plane to work?
Satellite seems to be the way to go. But so we're going to be giving that out pretty soon. But what people don't know about Sean, because I mentioned lumberjacks, that Sean, you probably didn't know this. That I'm not talking about this Sean. This Sean, no, this is a different Sean. Sean Duffy, the head of transportation. He's a great Sean, though, I have to tell you. But Sean Duffy was the world champion.
He's a great Sean? We're just ranking Seans now? At this point, everyone in the room was probably like, can we just give you our bribe and go home?
I had somebody the other day said, well, Scott Bessent said. I said, well, that's pretty good, Scott. You know? So I'm a believer. But when he speaks, the markets really listen.
This man right here is a Boeing executive. His planes fall out of the sky, and he's sitting here like, now this is a f***ing disaster. We went from drones to lumberjacks to Sean Duffy to Pete Buttigieg, back to Sean Duffy. He went on for 13 more minutes. The stock market.
Forget about the recent stock market being so good.
Lee Greenwood, obviously, and how the 2020 election was rigged.
We had a really successful first term. Then the election was rigged.
And in case you're wondering when he weaved his way back to the drones, he never f***ing did.
He spoke to American troops at an Air Force base in Qatar and walked out to his favorite jam.
Show the boys what we're fighting for over there, right?
I also met with the leader of the UAE in Abu Dhabi. We like to say Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi do, like the late, great Fred Flintstone.
Trump was off to the United Arab Emirates, the country Americans always click on accidentally on the drop-down menu.
I love Dubai because they do buy a lot of weapons.
You know, Syria has just thrown off decades of dictatorship, and Trump thinks the new government deserves a chance to find its feet. Maybe I was wrong about this guy. You know, he doesn't just think about himself.
Syria's new president, Ahmed al-Shara, reportedly offered to build a Trump Tower in Damascus.
PBS, maybe you could learn a lesson from this. Instead of whining about Trump cutting children's programming, have you thought of offering him a Trump Tower on Sesame Street?
It was very much a boys' trip. The women are all hiding. It's like a nation of Melanias.
Ethical experts are also warning that Trump may owe political favors to countries who give him lavish gifts. But based on the way he left the Middle East, I think I know how Trump is going to pay them back.
Let me stay. Get me to Allah's country.
He didn't know the difference between Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. He called them Little ISIS, Big ISIS, and ISIS Tokyo Drift. But then he visited their lands, and they showed him their culture, and they taught him their history. And then they gave him a $400 million jet, and it was something about all of that now he loves Muslims.
Might just be the free jet.
You cynical son of a